stopped
Please give me a
driving.
moment. Please give me a moment. Queens DA Communications, is this Melinda Katz?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Melinda. Thank
How are
you.
you?
Good to hear you.
Good
Madam
morning,
Chair,
good evening,
Yes,
everyone. Good to be
I
here.
see her. She live and in person now. Queens DA Melinda Katz,
Good
welcome.
morning. Thank you, my pleasure.
it's 6:34, Madam Chair.
Yeah,
Whenever
as
you're
soon
ready.
as, yes, Florence. So welcome everyone to January 18th meeting of Community Board 1. It's my pleasure to introduce the Queens DA Melinda Katz to say a few words to us.
Thank you, Marie, and thank you, Florence, and all of the board members. I wanted to just come on quickly. I thank you for allowing me to just to say hello, Happy New Year. It's good to see everyone safe and sound. I think it has been a very difficult year. Last year, if you recall, we were talking about 2021 and how great that was going to be. And, you know, we saw what happened there. So I'm hoping that this new year does allow all of us a little more help, a little more safety in coming out and being together. I miss being together. I just wanted to give you a few minutes of an update. I'm not going to take up long. I know you have a long agenda, land use, elections, the whole bit. First of all, Marie, congratulations on the work you've done as chair. Florence as district manager, but all of you in your capacity of your civic duties and your civic organizations over the last year, it has not been easy. And everyone, I believe, in Queens County has stood up to the task. You know, I myself am entering my third year as district attorney. Every day is an issue that comes up, and we are up to the task of dealing with it. You know, and I became the district attorney. The bail laws have changed twice. Discovery laws changed twice. We got rid of a very, I thought, biased policy of not allowing any pleas to a lower plea than a top count case if you didn't waive your grand jury. So it has been quite the ride. In the meantime, there's a worldwide pandemic 2 months into my administration, and then a national conversation that I thought was overdue. But, you know, generations before us have been fighting the fight about the murder of George Floyd. And so, you know, we have been doing all of this in the context of moving the office forward. I have taken the challenge of creating a brave justice system that I believe is a brave justice system. And, you know, to me, that means a lot of things. And that means equity in the court system, but equity also outside the court system and keeping the streets safe. I do think that there are those out there that would like you to think it has to be one or the other, right? Either have equity in the court system or not safe streets. And it's not true. You can do both. And, you know, in our office, we have tried to balance that with brave justice, you know, every single day. But, you know, that means a lot of things. And we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day. We have a Martin Luther King Day celebration tomorrow, by the way, just so if anybody would like to join us on that. You know, and he was talking about injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And sometimes that means to balance it, you got to make hard decisions. But it also means keeping communities safe. And that has to be my priority as the district attorney. It means working, investigating and prosecuting drivers of crime. It means doing 141 count indictment in Queensbridge and Ravenswood and making sure that, you know, we are prosecuting the drivers, I believe, of crime. And we prosecuted them for gang violence and attempted murder and gun violence. And we did that in the same exact week that I did a conviction integrity unit of a man who had been spent 31 years in jail and nobody wanted to look at his case. And he had gone to the federal courts for habeas corpus. He had gone to the state courts. He had come to the previous administration. And the interesting thing about it is in the meeting we had, I said to him, you know, how do you feel? He said, well, I feel good. It took me a long time. I said to him, look, I know, but I've just been the DA at that time, you know, for a year and a half. I said to him, I'm sorry it took me so long to get here. But, you know, I do believe that that's part of brave justice also. So it means doing both. It means making sure that at the same time we get the drugs off the street that are ravaging our communities and the fentanyl overdoses, which just keep happening. You know, a lot of the drugs are cut with fentanyl. And I think that your organization should know just because it comes in a pill or just because you think it can't be cut, it's not true. It can be. We find that pills are cut with fentanyl. And so we are trying to get those off the street at the same time, make sure we have diversion programs for drug rehabilitation and all that comes with that. We do gun buybacks. We've gotten almost 300 guns in gun buybacks. We are working towards diversion programs for weapons. And at the same time that we are doing all of that, we've created a hate crimes bureau, a violent criminal enterprise bureau for gangs and guns, a bureau of worker protection and employment protection. We've gotten hundreds of thousands, if not, I think it was $1 million back for an employer who is stealing prevailing wage from workers. A very important thing that they know that they have to answer for that. And not only did they answer for it, but they got their money back, the employees. So all of this comes with the knowledge that you please reach out to us. I think Kate is on this Zoom. If she is, can you put my email in the chat? My email directly goes right to my phone is cats@queensda.org, cats@queensda.org. And I wanted to make sure that you knew I'm still here. I just moved down the block, but I'm always here for the community. I look forward to seeing you in person. I miss so many of you, but I thank you for having the faith in me that a lot of you had. I really appreciate it. And I think we're doing great things in this borough, and I look forward to it. We've also given out, by the way, I just want to make sure you know, a few $1 million for youth empowerment. And in that community, your community board, Variety Boys and Girls Club got some of that money. Urban Upbound got some of the money, and Share for Life got some of the money. And so we are trying to spread it and make sure they never get into the court system in the first place. The kids. Thank you very much. And if you have a question, please just email me so I don't take up that much time.
Thank you.
Hi, DA Katz.
Sure.
Hi, this is Doreen. I'm one of the community board members. It's nice to meet you. I wanted to ask you about what's going on with the, Prakash, who's.
Sure. So that's an ongoing case. It is difficult for me to talk about. It was, the conviction was reversed at the appellate division. I can tell you that. The people have stood ready for a very, very long time to move forward in the case in order to have a jury decide the future verdict. He is on electronic monitoring. He is home until the outcome of the case. But that's about all I can talk about. It is coming on, I believe it's tomorrow, for further motions. But we are ready to move forward in order to complete the case. It's been too long.
Thank you. And I believe that the DA would prefer to get her questions by email because she has another place to be. So thank you so much, DA Katz, for all the wonderful work you're doing for justice in
Doing my
Queens
best.
County.
Thank you. Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year, everyone.
For stopping
Happy
by.
New Year.
Thanks.
Thank
Please be
you.
safe.
You
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right. Moving on to 3501 Vernon Boulevard rezoning. Who is speaking for the applicant? Mr.
Hi.
Palatnik, is that
How are you?
you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we've been before your committee a few times already in the past few years. So if you give me the word, I'll start making my presentation.
Go ahead, please.
Proceed. Thank you. So as in the spirit of the Honorable Melinda Katz, I know that you're having a busy agenda this evening. And as I mentioned a moment ago, you've heard this before. So I'll try and stick to the salient points and move ahead. For those who are not familiar with what I am here for tonight, my name is Eric Palatnik. I'm a zoning and land use attorney, and I'm representing E&Y Distributors, which is Felix Agudev. And Felix owns the property that is shown here that's at the corner of Vernon Boulevard, 35th and 9th. And if you can go back to the first slide there for a second, Austin, I apologize, I kicked you forward there. The application is seeking permission to build this 9-story building that you see here in front of you. Now, the building that's shown to you is 9 stories. It would become an M14/R7A mixed use district. And that MX mixed use district is very important, the M4 component, because that's the second floor of the building, which, as proposed in response to some of the issues we've discussed at earlier community board meetings, will include 18,000 square feet of light manufacturing space that we're going to explain a little bit more later, but we're hoping to include with Technion from Cornell and some incubator space that they have, some ideas. So we're starting to work with them. Also, during the time that we've met with you, it's been asked, and I'll explain in the presentation, for me to show you that we've increased the number of 2 and 3 bedrooms, and we've eliminated studios. So we've added 17 more 2 bedrooms throughout the process, 6 more 3 bedrooms, and we've reduced the 1 bedroom count by 17 and reduced studios. And we've also done a little bit more work taking a look at the flood level, and we're happy to say that this property is approximately 20 feet above flood level, so it is not in a flood zone. And we've also got some projected rentals to share with you because we have lowered the MIH to option level 1. So we'll start to move through the presentation, just giving you an idea of the things we've been up to with the community board for the past few years. I'd also like to introduce he might be on the call with us, but he's here to answer any questions, is Bishop Taylor. Bishop Taylor is a well-respected community leader that's been working with the development to try to program the second floor with uses such as Cornell, as I was speaking about a second ago. And also, I'd like to mention that we have partnered with HANEC to do the not-for-profit administering of the affordable housing components of the application. And I'll go through that in a few minutes, but there'll be 26 units of affordable housing in this development, as well as, I'll just start going through it a little bit. I'll cruise through it now that you know the basic components. Next slide, please, Austin. I mentioned a moment ago, E&Y Distributors, they're family business. They're located at the site. They've been there for years. They're auto parts distributors. They don't need to be at this exact location. They will be maintaining the same levels of employment, and most of their employees live in other boroughs anyway. They were commuting here, so this works out well for them. As you can see, they have a location in the Bronx. Next slide, please. See the existing conditions. For those of you who have not been to the building, it's on 35th and Vernon. You can see it's in an R5 district, even though it's a 2-story and a 1-story light manufacturing building. You go in, it's a double height ceiling. Next door to us, you can see in that top slide on the left is a residential building. And as you move in a clockwise or counterclockwise position around, you can see 35th and 9th, which are 1-story commercial components. Next slide, please. The lot area for the property, I should add, is about 26,000 square feet. To orient you a little bit more, for those who are not familiar still with the property, you can see where we are. You can see that the entrance to Roosevelt Island is just up the block there. But you can see our situation and our location across from the recently constructed last few years, 17-story residential building. The 5-story residential building is next door to us. And you've got some 4-story residential buildings and 2-story, and then some taller ones as you move along Vernon Boulevard. And you have the Con Edison plant across the street there. You can see the electric utilities on the left side across Vernon. Next slide, please. It shows you what the proposed request of your board is this evening. We're asking you permission to allow us to change the zoning from what you're seeing on the left side of the screen to what we're showing you on the right side. Essentially taking that block and converting it from its existing R5 to an R7A, which will include affordable housing. And I'll note that it's analogous to the R7-1 that's diagonally across the street, except this has a height limit, and the tallest the building can go is 95 feet. Whereas in the R7-1, there is no maximum height limit. That's why that building is so tall. So here you're guaranteed the building not to exceed the height of 95 feet. Next slide, please. This next slide shows you what I just described to you a moment ago. You can see that the middle column and the right column describe to you what is allowed is in the middle, and what is proposed, or what we're asking for, is on the right. But if you go down the right-hand side, you could basically see that we're asking for a building it'll be mostly residential, about a 3.3 floor area ratio, which equates to approximately 87,000 square feet of residential floor area. There'll be commercial and light manufacturing, as I said before. It's about 18,000 square feet of manufacturing at the second floor, and the ground floor will contain commercial, retail, coffee shops, things like that. It'll be about 8,000 square feet. So the building in total will have about 117,000 square feet for an FAR of approximately 4.51, and 4.6 is the maximum allowed. If it's approved, it'll have 107 apartments, 26 of which will be affordable, and there'll be 77 parking spaces. Next slide, please. Just lays out everything we've been talking about, so we'll skip past this. Next slide, please. This slide gives you a cross section of the building and starts to show you what it looks like. I was showing you pictures before. Now you can start to see plans. You can see the building would rise to a height of 95 feet, 4.51 FAR, 117,000 square feet of floor area. As you move from the bottom up, you'll see the parking spaces are the subcellar and the cellar. And then you'll see the first floor and the second floor have lobby and the parking and commercial space, coffee shops, things like that. The second floor will be the commercial light manufacturing space. That's the M component of this. And that's the work we're doing with Cornell, which had a conversation with them. And we're hoping to engage further with that and working with Bishop Taylor. And then the upper floors will all be residential, a mix of affordable and not affordable. And as I mentioned a moment ago, there'll be 26 affordable apartments, and there'll be 80 apartment rates. And I see they made a mathematical error. There'll be 106 units. Next slide, please. This slide just starts to put you again in context from a land use perspective from the various heights all around the site. Most importantly, at the lower left of your screen is 175 feet tall, 70 feet tall behind us. So we're not out of character with what's going on in the neighborhood and the buildings that are around us. You can see, of course, there's certainly taller buildings further up on 12th Street, but in the immediate area, there's that 175-foot tall building across the street that really supports the West. Next slide, please. Next slide is just a tax map. You can skip through that. Austin, you can skip through the maps, and you can go to aligning with Community Board 1's needs. We've tried to develop a plan that meets not only what we've read in your fiscal year 2022 needs statement, but that also meets the conversations that we've had with your board for the last few years. And we've been meeting with the board so long, we used to meet in person. That's how long we've been meeting. But the idea here, as you can see, is that we're trying to include the revitalization of the commercial strip with trying to create some livelihood on the street, some activity, as well as to create MIH option level 1, which is the lowest level MIH component. Next slide, please. The idea for the second floor is shown here. This is a maker space idea, and that's something that Cornell is working on. And this is just the kinds of light manufacturing ideas that are going on these days. Gone are the days of people working in gritty warehouses. They're clean, noxious-free, well-ventilated and lit workspace. Next slide, please. Next slide gives you a vision for a very novel organization that we've been reaching out to and started some communications with, which is called UNI, which is free public bike parking. And this we hope to incorporate within the development, somewhere accessible to the public that would give people a place to put a bicycle and lock it up for free. And that is a very exciting concept. Uni is popping up all around the city. You'll see over on the waterfront in Williamsburg. I believe they just signed a contract in Newark, New Jersey, or could be Newark or Jersey City. But you'll see them popping up all over the place. And it's important to note that they are a Brooklyn-based, as you see at the bottom, a Black-Brown-led team. So it's important for them to show you what they're doing around the city. Next slide, please. The building here is depicted, which you've seen already. I'll walk you through the plans for a couple of minutes and show you some of the components, and then I'll walk you through the affordability. Next slide shows you renderings from the perspective of 9th Street. 9th Street is on the lower left with the red cars coming out. That will be the entrance to the parking garage. You can see the building steps up along 9th Street and gets to its tallest height at 9 stories, set back from the street wall. So it really appears from the street to the layperson as a 7-story building, and even 5-story in some portions there on 9th Street. You can see that it's rung with commercial. There's storefronts all around it. We're hoping to find neighborhood retail spaces, and then the lobby is in the middle of 35th. Next slide. Next slide is not to speed right past it, but it's to speed right past it. It's everything we're doing that's green. The building will comply with every single requirement for energy efficiency that is needed, and then some, including green roof, plumbing fixtures and the likes of that. And if it has to comply with any new laws, including a new electrical law that just came out, it will. I don't know if we've done an analysis yet. Next slide, please. Next slide starts to bite into the affordability, and I'll go through this so you could pause here for a few minutes just so you could see it and digest it and back if anybody wants to converse. We have our consultants on the phone with us. But you can see here that we've broken it down to be at MIH option level 1, which is the lowest tier that is available. And you can see the breakdown of the units here. They run between bands of 40%, 60%, and 80%. You can see on the left side, the 9 units at 40%, 8 units at 60%, 9 units at 80%. And it gives you what the breakdown is of what that family or person or persons would be eligible to be earning. And then they would have what rents they would be qualifying to be paying. I'm going to show you in a minute, if we put it in, hopefully we did, a comparison to the market rates as well. Next slide, please. Here you go. So this shows you what the market rates are at. So we're going to toggle back and forth and ask Austin to go back. But just if you look on the left side, the remainder of the building that's not affordable is market rate, determined by free market. You can see in the market, if you go out in this neighborhood right now, it's approximately these prices on the left side for a 3-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and a 1-bedroom, ranging from $2,300 from a 1, $2,900 approximately for a 2, and $33 for a 3. So if you toggle backwards, Austin, you can compare that here, where you've got 1-bedrooms at the low of $800 a month to the high of $1,700 a month. So go forward again, you could really see that 800 versus 2,300. Even a 1-bedroom, even at the high end of the affordability, I think it was 1,700. Here it's 2,300. So, and I apologize if these are on separate pages. We probably should have put them side by side for your easier comparison. But the point we're trying to raise is that the affordability is more approximately half, in some instances, or a third of the market rates. But hopefully it addresses some people's needs. Next slide, please. Here we gave you what I spoke to you about earlier, which is a distribution comparison, the top chart versus the lower chart. Top is what we started with in 2019, pre-COVID, when we came to you and we started our conversations. And I mentioned that we changed our unit distribution. We added more 2s and 3s, took away studios and 1s. And you can see at the bottom of the screen, that last row where it says change, that shows you there how we've removed units from the studios and the 1s, and we've added them to the 2s and the 3s, with the most amount being added and subtracted. 17 2-bedrooms being added and 17 1-bedrooms being taken away, and then 6 3s being added, and the elimination of studios entirely. So we hope that meets with the committee's satisfaction, something that was asked to be done. Next slide, please. So the next slide, if you can just, Austin, just go right to the plans if you can now. You don't need to go to the photos. I think everybody knows the neighborhood. Okay, just keep clicking, Austin, if you go to first floor plan. Cellar. There you go. Perfect. That's the sub-cellar. Nothing special. Self-park for 77 spaces on this level. There'll be 77 in total, 46 at the sub-cellar level. And then go up to the cellar level, please, Austin. One more page. Then you got 24 more parking spaces here. Now you're at the cellar level. You're still below ground. Got the bicycle park, you got storage, you got water sprinkler and the fire pump. You've got all sorts of different interior uses that you would expect to be at a cellar. Next slide, please. They'll take you to the first floor. The first floor has some more parking to get you up to 77. You can see the parking spaces there. In the back, the cars are coming in the back left corner. That's, I showed you the red car earlier, the top left on 9th Street. That's where they're coming in. Plenty of room for cars to circulate. You can see wide open spaces. There's 7 spaces at that ground floor. And most of the ground floor up on starting from 9th and run the whole way around to Vernon, you can see we've got broken down into different anticipated commercial spaces. And we'd break them up depending upon who came in and what uses. But we're trying to attract all the types of businesses that you would probably want to see. Whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a small market, whether it be a hair cutting salon, a nail salon, somebody get your shoes clean, shined, a card shop, thing that you think I want to see at the retail level. And we're open to more ideas. Next slide, please. It shows you this next slide shows you the second floor space. This is a space that we've reached out to Cornell and started a discussion. Your district manager, by the way, has done what brokers around the city were not able to do. We've been reaching out, calling top real estate brokers, and Florence picked up the phone and said, I'll put you in touch, and got us the right to a woman named Jane Swanson. We've been communicating with her, and we're going to take that conversation further. And you see these spaces rung around on the second floor. You could also see that the second floor has an outdoor area that will be open to people to come out to, so they can come out to and use the space there. Next slide, please. So you can see here that you start to open up the building to the residential units, and it breaks up in an L-shaped pattern as it goes up to the 9th floor, getting progressively smaller because the building steps down like a wedding cake. So if you keep clicking, Austin, so everybody can see, you can just get a gist for what it all looks like. Keep going, just L's around the building the whole way, and goes right there. And that's it. That's that is the roof of the building. And Austin, you could close the screen now, and we could bring it back up if anybody has any questions. But that is the essence of the presentation. We would be more than pleased to come back to any pages anybody wants to discuss anything anybody wants to bring up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Palatnik. I'll turn this over to either Jerry Caliendo or Elizabeth Evian to see what questions the committee might have had.
Marie, this is Elizabeth Arian. Okay. I just wanted to give a short review about the committee's review. The comments that we had over the 3 sessions we had with Mr. Palatnik had to do with the reduction in the studios, the option 1 preference that we had for the MIH, the increase in the number of family-sized units, concern for the program that was going to be used, that was going to be in the second floor, what kind of industry was going to be happening there, and also the ground floor uses, which has been reviewed. And in addition to that, we had concerns about attenuating the sound that might be generated by the industrial use in the on the second floor for the residential uses above. We requested the breakdowns of the market rents, et cetera, which Mr. Palatnik has presented. Unfortunately, we're just seeing it for the first time tonight, so we haven't had a chance to review that. And this was one of the problems that we had. We couldn't come to a recommendation because we didn't have a certified application. This item was certified on the 3rd of January. Our meeting was supposed to be the 5th, but it was canceled. So tonight the board will, we can have a motion put on the floor and the discussion when we come into the business section. I believe that's when you want to do the vote.
Yes, during the business
Okay.
section.
Okay, so that's what we'll do at that time. But at this point, I have no further questions. Jerry, do you have questions?
No, I have no questions, but I think that the request for information were answered. And I'm happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any board members have a question? Can you please use the raise hand function if you do? No one? Effie Anthopoulos.
No, I just want to reference what I put into the chat because some people
Well,
are,
I see what you're saying, but we have 30 attendees.
but those look like they're representatives from like elected officials. And I mean, just some of the names that I'm seeing. I'm just bringing it up because Kate has asked me to bring it up.
I just sent you the link again in the
It's
chat.
not me, I'm on. I'm
No, no,
on
I
the call.
understand, but I don't know who's reaching out to you, so I sent it to you in case you need.
So Evie, I'm answering emails in the office to people and I'm giving them the advice to call in. It's Zoom, it's not us. It's the program Zoom that's having
Okay,
the
I'm
issue.
I'm conveying the
I'm
information.
sharing. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
if Mr. Moss is putting the link, so if Kate is reaching out to you, I already answered her and gave her the YouTube address, and I also asked her to call in. But you can take that link and cut it and paste it and send it to her, because if she's reaching out to you, it would be easy for anybody to do, and anybody can use that link that Mr.
Okay.
Moss is putting in. Thanks, Marie, I'm sorry.
Okay. Evie, you have no questions about this project then?
I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of it because I was fielding people not being able to access the meeting, so.
Okay. It'll be
Ask
further
them to
discuss-
call the office. Yeah.
Excuse me, Florence.
Oh, I apologize, Marie. I'm so sorry.
So it'll be further discussed during the
I've got, this
committee.
is Richard Kazami.
Just
I've
a
got
minute,
one comment.
just a minute,
Oh.
Richard.
Okay,
Please.
all right.
Thank you. Okay, Evie, this will be more discussion during the committee review. Thank you. Richard?
The
Richard?
comment I have is, yes, can you
Okay,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes.
I'm on a, okay,
Yes.
because I'm on a phone. My computer's not working either with Zoom. So,
Okay, cool.
That's the question.
sorry? Yeah, my question is, well, number one, I wanted to comment that I like the fact that it looks like on the first floor, they did put a dock, a loading dock, which I think is very important given the current retail delivery structure that we have. This is a common issue that I always like to emphasize, so I appreciate that. Two questions I had from before. What kind of foundation are you putting in here? Do you have more information on that? And also energy generation. Is there any thought towards utilizing solar panels? Is your roof going to be a green roof? What about there's even solar windows out there? What are you doing to create more sustainability?
We can give you an itemized list, which I could send back. We do have a slide that gives some of the components that we've been doing. I don't know if George, the architect, was able to make it on, George Canaris. If he's on the phone, he might be able to add more. I know he had some trouble getting it as well. But as far as the energy conservation features go, there will be solar panels on the roof. There will be a white roof where there's no solar panels. There will be water retention. There will be the use of bioswales. We're not planning on using any photovoltaic windows, although we are using windows that will, I forget the term for it, but they're going to reduce the ultraviolet rays that come in and insulate in the winter. So it keeps it cooler in the summer and keeps it warmer in the winter. And to answer the point that was made earlier, we have been trying to find the proper soundproofing in between the second floor and the manufacturing space, the light manufacturing space. So we are addressing all of the electrical, green components that you're talking about. Respect to the foundation, Georgia, like I said, I think is having trouble getting in. So I don't want to miss as far as to what the foundation will be. I haven't heard that it'll be anything other than probably be a pile-driven foundation, but I could let him determine it or when he comes on the phone.
Okay. If he gets in. Okay, not a bathtub then, type of foundation, probably.
I don't know. I'm not privy, unfortunately, to the area of the design.
Thank you.
Okay, I mean, the only comment I have is that the bathtub tends to be the most sustainable in terms of it being in a flood zone. I know it's expensive, but it's really in the long run the best way to go from what I understand. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Evie Huntlopoulos.
Thank you. You showed a slide that had the market rate rents. Are those going to be the actual rents?
No, those are just meant as a depiction. And good evening. How are you? I'm sorry you missed the beginning, but if there's any consolation, I think you've heard this a couple of times already, so not much has changed since I think the last time. The market rate, they're not market rate rents that we're promising them to be. They are what the market rate rents are today.
But you must have some kind of projection on what the rents you're going to be charging.
Well, that's what right now, that's what they're basing the rents to be off of. That's what they're running all their numbers off of what they are right now. And that's where doing all the projections on that. We can't really it's hard for anybody to obviously to forecast anything further than a week out these days, whether things are going to go up or down. Nothing's following a clear trajectory. But based upon what we've seen to date, we feel that's a pretty good guess to where things are going to be. We've leveled off on the inflationary times and the days of everything rising and rising and rising to some extent. Although there are supply chain issues and the costs of goods are rising, but we don't know. To give you the short answer, I can't give you that. It's the best guesstimate we have for what the rents will be.
Thank you. Does any other board member have a question? Any member of the public have a question? Okay, Mark, I see somebody's hand up here, an attendee, but,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
okay, thank you.
There it is. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe? Did you have a question? Okay, hand is no longer raised.
Yeah, lower the hand and mute himself.
Okay, thank you. No, seeing that no one else has a question, we'll close this public hearing item. It will be voted on during the business section. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we have come to the election of the executive board portion of the meeting, which I am going to turn over to Mr. Rod Townsend.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to board elections for 2022 for the 2-year term. The board was asked for nominations for the positions of chairperson, first vice chair, second vice chair, third vice chair, secretary, and sergeant at arms. The following nominations were received. For chairperson, Marie Torniali. For first vice chair, Amy Howe. For second vice chair, Evie Hanzopoulos. Third vice chair, Richard Kuzami. For secretary, Daniel Aliberti and Diana Limongi. For sergeant at arms, Tom Ryan. That is the nominations as they are currently. I am opening the floor to any floor nominations. I am operating on an iPad, Mark, so if you could help me recognize anyone with their hands up.
Nope, I don't see. Dino? You have to unmute, Dino.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to nominate myself for first vice chair.
Thank you, Dino. Are there any further nominations?
I don't see
Seeing
any.
that we have no further nominations, the way that we'll proceed as follows. For the positions where there are multiple candidates for the position, we will begin with a tally of the vote. We will now start with the secretary position, and I'll be joined by Elizabeth Arion, who will be doing a roll call of the membership, and you will state who you are voting for. Liz, if you could continue.
Okay, yes. The first vote we will take is for the office of secretary. Please, when I call your name, mention the name of the nominee you wish to vote for. Helene Abiola. Is Helene present?
I'm checking. Just a minute.
I'm sorry, are the nominees?
The nominees, you're right,
someplace?
Danielle Aliberti and Diana Limongi. One of those two.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
If I may interrupt the roll, sorry. I should have asked for comments from the candidates. If you could give 1-minute statements, let's do this alphabetically. Dan Aliberti, if you could speak for 1 minute about your candidacy, please.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you're
Yes,
good.
I
Thank
can
you.
hear you.
Great. Okay, thank you. I'm on the phone side. Yeah, I believe that the position of secretary is very important in that transparency is very important to the community, to the board, to the future. People looking at our board in the future, even a few months, a few years, who knows, down the line. I think that the minutes of a board, the communications of a board, are the face of the board, are the history of the board, and so I think it's very important, and I want to help the board be transparent. That's it.
Thank you, Dan. Diana, if you could also give comments limited to 1 minute, please.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Pleasure to see so many of you. So I recently joined the community board. I am an active member of the community, and I'm really excited about the possibility of joining at a different, in the position of secretary, because I think it's really important to have communication, but also to be there for community members. I think it's important that when you're on the community board, it's not only what I think, but it's also listening to the rest of the community neighbors, and bring that back here in this forum. So that's what I hope to bring as a member and also a secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Elizabeth, I'm sorry to have interrupted the role. If you want to restart that.
Okay, we're both new at this. First, this is for the office of secretary. The nominees are Daniel Aliberti and Diana Limoji. Helene Abiola. I'm going to mark her as absent.
Oh, she's present. She's not unmuting, Liz.
Oh.
I sent her a message, a direct message to unmute. She may be tied up, or it seems that the tech is acting up. I heard something that Verizon and T-Mobile are definitely having issues. I don't know if that's related to this.
Then I'm going
Okay,
on.
just move forward. Move forward.
George
Thank you.
Alexiou.
George Alexiou, I'm pretty sure he's on.
Yes.
Okay,
May I have your vote, George, for either Daniel Aliberti or Diana Limoji?
Daniel Alberti.
Thank you. Daniel Aliberti?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you're asking me? Yes, I'm voting for myself.
Thank you. Okay. Louise Boardley? May I have your vote, Louise?
I don't believe she's on. I don't see her.
Raise hands.
I'll check again, Marie. She's
Shoma?
not present.
She's absent. Thank
Yes,
you. Shoma Brahmanandan.
S-P-O-M-A.
Is
not present.
She's not here either. Okay. And Bruno?
She's on the phone.
*6, I believe.
Yes, correct.
And please press *6 so we can hear your vote.
Let me just follow up and make sure.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can. Yes. Who?
I vote for Danny.
Thank you. Gerald Caliendo.
Daniel Alberti.
Thank you. Iraq Sahansky.
Hello, I'm voting for Diana.
Thank you. Jean Marie DeLeva,
Diana Limoji,
Antonia Di Severio,
voting for Daniel Aliberti. That sounds, that's okay.
Katie Elman, is Katie on the line?
I'll let you know right now. I'm just taking tally also.
I don't see her.
No,
A-A-P-I.
she is not
No.
here.
No.
Okay. Mackenzie Farquhar,
I vote for Diana.
thank you. Dean Feritovich,
It's not here today.
okay. Shahnaz Hamdi,
Diana,
hold on. I'm doing this. Okay. Evie Hansopoulos,
Diana,
I'm sorry, Evie.
Said Diana.
Diana Lamonji,
Amy Howe,
Dan Alberti,
Helen Ho,
I don't believe that Helen is here.
I'm voting for Daniel Aliberti.
Oh, she is here. Good.
is that one vote for Diana?
No,
Dan.
Okay.
for
Dan.
Daniel
I'm sorry.
Aliberti.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Vanessa Jones Hall,
She's not here.
okay. Nancy Conopole,
Daniel Aliberti,
thank you. Richard Kuzami,
Dan Aliberti.
Amr Kotby,
He's absent.
Jerry Krill,
I don't believe here.
He's not here.
Christina Lastres,
Dan Alberti,
Diana Limonji, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm voting for Diana myself. That's always weird.
Diana's voting for Dan.
Diana.
No.
Diana, I'm sorry. I'm glad
sorry,
I'm
this is-
repeating this.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
this is Dean Feratovic. I was kicked off and I wasn't able to get back on. So
I'm
it's just
sorry, who is speaking?
Dean Feratovic.
Okay, and what is your vote, Dean?
I vote for Dan Aliberti.
Thank you. Okay. Chelsea Lopez,
I'm voting for Diana.
Anna Lupian,
Dan Aliberti.
Jeffrey Martin,
Dan Aliberti.
Amin Mahedi,
I don't see him.
No, he's not in.
okay. Antonio Maloney,
He usually calls in. He didn't give me a number for this month, so I don't have him recognized.
I'm going to mark
We
him
have
as
to,
absent.
we have to
Move
move on.
yeah.
Okay. Doreen Mohammed,
I vote for Diana.
thank you. Eric Mouchet,
Dan Aliberti.
thank you. Stella Nicolau,
Daniel Aliberti,
thank you. Mary O'Hara,
Not here.
Absent.
Dina Panagulias,
Dan Alberti,
Juliet Payabab,
Juliet.
Who's trying to unmute? Juliet, you have to unmute again. We see your lips, but there's no volume. No, you have to say it. You have to say it. We can't take it. Unmute. Bottom left corner, hit the microphone. It has to be an official vote. Madam Chair, do you want to come back to Juliet? It seems that everybody's having tech tonight. As I
Yeah,
said,
so am I. I feel like I'm going to be kicked off in a second.
they're
Okay,
saying
so-
that, yeah, internet servers. It's all over the press.
Okay.
Move on.
Rosemary Poveromo,
Is Rosemary here?
She was here. I
I'm
don't know if
back.
she's.
Do you hear me
Julia.
now?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you hear me now? Daniel Alberti.
thank you.
Thank you, Julia.
Rosemary Poveromo,
I don't see Rosemary.
Move on.
Yanni Robinson,
I think she's absent.
Brian Romero,
Brian's having a hard time getting in.
I'm
Brian,
not.
are you
He's here.
here?
He's here. Here, Brian.
I'm actually, yeah, I'm here. I vote for Diana Lamonji. Thank you.
Thomas Ryan,
Repeat that?
Tom,
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
please
Daniel
vote.
Alberti.
thank you. Dominic Stiller, is Dominic here?
I'll let you know right now.
I don't see him.
No, absent.
Androy Stiff,
Diana Lamoji.
thank you. Rod Townsend,
Dan Aliberti.
Judy Trelevis,
Dan Aliberti.
Mitch Waxman,
Dan Aliberti.
Kathleen Warnock,
Diana.
and Rosemary Yelton.
Diana.
Okay,
Elizabeth, you did not vote.
that's correct. I'm going back there. My vote is for, where am I? I just want to get me. Here I am. My vote is for Diana Lamonji.
Can I submit my
And-
vote as
and-
well?
I'm sorry, hold on a second. And Marie Torniali,
Diana Limonti.
okay. And who just spoke before?
Helene Abiola. I was on the chat. I wrote a message
Thank
for
you.
Diana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, give me a couple minutes. Let me,
We're going to mute briefly, and Elizabeth and I are going to chat offline, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, yeah. So today is either fish.
This is Diana. Is there another vote? Can we start the next vote or no?
Doing the count out now, Diana. We have two people
Yeah.
doing the vote and
Give
they're
them-
offline.
Give them
So
1
while
minute.
they're offline, we give them a
It'll be
minute.
less than a
Yeah.
Got it.
Everyone mute, please. Excuse me.
That's easily solved by muting. Tom.
It was involuntary.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
The votes have been tallied by Elizabeth and myself, and I am happy to thank both candidates for running and for your commitment to our community board. And I congratulate Dan Aliberti, our new secretary.
Yay.
I'm used to public speaking, and I just pause for an applause line. Yes, Dan, at this time, I would like to forego the regular route, and instead of having you do the roll for this as our new secretary, I'd like to continue with Elizabeth for the purpose of concluding the election. Is that acceptable to you?
Certainly.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, our next election is going to be for first vice chair of the community board. We have two candidates, Amy Howe and Dino
Panagoulias.
My apologies for the slow on that. Let's go alphabetically, and Amy, you have 1 minute for to speak. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I am, I guess, not prepared, but I am happy to have served as second vice chair for the last 2 years, and I look forward to working with a new team on the executive committee for the next 2 years as first vice chair. Thanks.
Thank you. And now we have Dino. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for your consideration. One of the reasons that I got involved in the community board was to make an impact within my community, which was Dutch Kills. And I think getting on the executive board and actually being able to help with operations or basically filling in for Marie whenever is needed is definitely something that I would be interested in. I've never missed a board meeting. I actually just recently also became the chair of the Consumer Affairs Committee. And one of the most important things is to know how to conduct kind of meetings and to move forward with everything. So I definitely look forward to being given the opportunity to be the first vice chair.
Thank you, Dino, and thank you, Amy. We will now go back to the roll call. And Elizabeth, if you could begin with that. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me now? You should be able to.
Yes.
Okay, let me get my screen back up. We are now voting for first vice chair. The nominees are Dino Panagoulias and Amy Howe. Helene Abiola,
Amy Howe.
George Alexiou,
Dino.
thank you. Daniel Aliberti,
Dino.
Louise Boardley. I'm sorry, she's absent. Anne Bruno,
Dino.
Gerald Caliendo,
Amy.
Irak Shahansky,
Amy Howe.
Jean Marie DeLiva,
Dino.
Antonella DeSverio,
Amy.
Katie Elman. Katie, I'm sorry, Katie's out. Elizabeth Arian, I am voting for Amy. Mackenzie Farquhar,
Amy Howe.
thank you. Dean Feritovich,
Amy Howe.
thank you. Shahanaz Hamdi,
Amy Howe.
thank you. Evie Hansopoulos,
Amy Howe.
thank you. Amy Howe,
Voting for myself, thank you.
thank you. Helen Ho,
Amy Howe.
Vanessa Jones Hall is out. Nancy Conopole,
Amy Howe.
Richard Kuzami. Richard,
We
know-
check Richard, Mark. Can we check Richard's microphone because he's calling in?
I don't see him as a panelist anymore.
I see his name.
Hello, can you hear me?
There we
Oh,
go.
much better.
Yes,
Go ahead,
So you
Richard.
hear me now? Okay. Amy
Yes.
Howe.
thank you, Richard. Amir is out. Jerry Krill is out. Christina Lostres,
Amy Howe.
Diana Limongi,
Amy Howe.
Chelsea Lopez,
Amy Howe.
Hannah Lupian,
Amy.
Jeffrey Martin,
Amy Howe.
Amin Mahede. I'm sorry, he's out. Doreen Mohammed,
Amy Howe.
okay, Antonia, I just confirming Antonia Maloney is not online. Is
I'll
that
check one more time.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you. Okay, Eric Mouchette,
Amy Howe.
thank you. Stella Nicolau,
Amy.
thank you. Dina Panagoulias,
Voting for Dino.
okay. Juliet Payabayab,
Amy Howe.
Rosemary Poveromo,
I don't believe she's on the call.
okay. Yanni Robinson is absent. Brian Romero, is Brian Romero still here?
I'll
Yes.
check right now.
Oh, hi. Amy Howe. Thank you.
Okay, Tom Ryan,
Amy.
Dominic Stiller, he's out, I'm sorry. Andre Stiff,
Amy.
Rod Townsend,
Amy.
Judy Trulevis,
Amy.
Mitch Waxman,
Amy.
Kathleen Warnock,
Amy.
Rosemary Yelton,
Amy Howe.
and Marie Torniali.
Amy Howe.
Okay, thank you. This should,
We'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and thank you to both Dino and Amy for running, and congratulations to Amy, who will continue to serve on the executive board. The rest of the positions are not contested, and to remind you, those are Marie Torniali for chair, Evie Hanzopoulos for second vice chair, Richard Kuzami, third vice chair, and Tom Ryan, sergeant at arms. I would like to entertain a motion to not do a roll call for every position and to vote for these positions as a slate. May I have a motion to enter in that nature, please?
I
Make a motion. Jean DeLeva.
Please,
Second.
name,
Second,
Jean
Second, Tom
DeLeva.
Ryan.
who's second?
Andre.
George Alexio.
Everybody was the second on that.
Can I just have, is there anybody opposed to this? Thank you. So we will do a final go through the roll call, and this time you're voting to vote for a slate of Marie Torniali for chair, Evie Hanzopoulos for second vice chair, Richard Kuzami as third
Wait,
vice chair,
I'm
and Tom
sorry.
Ryan.
Can we do raise hands?
no, we
You
don't.
don't have to.
Do you want to?
We all just agreed that we agree on
can
the
I do
slate,
an
so what are we
affirmation?
voting for?
We did a motion in a second. I think if
Right, everybody on the
nobody,
call agrees.
if nobody
Everyone
is,
stop talking, except Marie.
excuse me, if everyone agrees, we don't need to do a roll call is what I'm trying
No.
to say.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay, Thank
Okay,
you.
so all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye, aye,
Anyone?
aye.
okay.
Yeah.
Tom, do you have a question? Tom,
No, I don't. I'm just trying to get this moving forward.
because you have your hand up, okay?
No, I was trying to do raised
All right,
hands.
I wanted to thank Rod Townsend and Elizabeth Evian for doing the election and the fine job they did. I know it's not easy. And I thank you for the opportunity of being.
Can everyone please mute?
I don't know if that's me. Richard Guzami, can you mute?
I'll mute him now with me.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of you. Again, I want to thank Rod and Elizabeth for stepping forth and doing this. I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to be chair for my last term. This will be my third term. And I know all of us will. Richard, is that you? Can you please mute?
Please mute everyone, everyone.
I'm trying to thank our board members and the executive board. And I know that now I and Amy and Richard and Tom, who've already been on the executive board, along with Evie and Dan Aliberti, will work to the end of bringing this community board even more inclusive and transparent than we have brought it thus far. And this can only be accomplished by the input of each and every one of you with suggestions and ideas on how we can make Community Board 1 even better. Thank you. Okay.
Next.
And congratulations to all. Okay, a motion to adopt the 2021 minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes. Tom Ryan.
Motion.
Second, Jean DeLeva.
Thank you. Any opposition? Corrections, amendments? Thank you. my chair's report. I just want to ask all the current board members who are up for renewal to make sure they reapply by February 16th. Also ask that all public members or interested community of members, you as well can apply, and I encourage you to do so. It's very easy this year. Go on the Queens BP website, you apply online. It takes just a couple of minutes. And it's important to be invested in your community. And I know some of the public attends every meeting. So I encourage you to apply. Speaking of Zoom, the governor has extended our ability to meet remotely, and the legislature, I understand, may consider permanent modifications to the open meetings law. I'm sure we'll get the news that it becomes available. Hopefully, though, I really wish we could meet in person, at least in the not too distant future, because while Zoom provides safety, it certainly doesn't provide camaraderie, which I believe all of us in all our lives are really missing right now. And that is my chair's report. Thank you. Florence?
Happy New Year, everyone. It's good to see you all back. Unfortunately, we had Zoom issues today. Tech is not perfect, and we tried to answer as many emails as humanly possible as they came in. When we run into this kind of a problem, if you want to tell people to email the office, we'll always try to help them. But if the office doesn't hear from them, we can't help. My report tonight is I recently had the opportunity to speak to the council members, staff, Tiffany Caban's office and Julie Wan's office. Both teams are eager to hit the ground running, and we look forward to working together with them. Our offices always work very closely with our council, assembly, and senate, and hope to build long-lasting relationships for the benefit of our community and its residents for their quality of life. We want to welcome all of the new elected officials and wish them the very best of luck in their positions. Thank you. Go my report.
Committee reports. Consumer Affairs. Dino Ponagoulias.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year, and congratulations to all our newly elected officials. If everyone can take a look at the spreadsheet that was mailed out to everyone, I believe we have 22 total license renewals and new requests. What we did is looked at every single one of them with the 114th precinct. There was nothing of note except for one specific issue with a business known as Alpha Lounge. The corporation name is, if you can just bear with me for a second, Truth Astoria Corporation. It's the third item on the list. The conversation that we had with the 114th precinct is that there have been 119 311 calls and 28 911 calls. 115 of those 311 calls were commercial noise complaints. So as a committee, although we did not meet, what we are looking for is a motion to approve all except for that one business, Truth Astoria. If I can get a motion for that, I would appreciate it.
Jean DeLeva, make a motion.
Second, Tom Ryan.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed?
That's a committee. My brother is on a call.
See none, the motion carries. Thank you, Dino.
Much appreciated, everyone. Thank you.
We have a question in regards to that.
Yes.
I'm concerned. I live right near La Boom. I'm sure everyone was familiar with it. There was a mass shooting not too long ago, and bullets came flying by my house. I would like to see when La Boom comes up for renewal that we discuss that issue.
I've noted that, Tom, and Florence and I will continue to look after that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Environmental Protection.
Antonella,
Antonella. I feel
so
like I'm gonna lose everybody, so in case I disappear.
I'll try to go fast. I'm sorry.
Not your fault, not your fault.
So our scheduled meeting for next month will be February 8th. We're going to try and have Cara Napolitano from Sims Municipal Recycling Center to go over all the complexities of recycling in New York City. The repairs on the Catskill Aqueduct were completed, so our water is again from the Catskills Reservoir. Which brings me to the drinking water in our area. I don't know if you received your water bills, but there was a letter included with the water bill that basically said the drinking water in our area has high levels of something called HAA5, which is haloacetic acid. And it also went on to say that there are some studies that suggest that people who drank contaminated water containing disinfection byproducts, including haloacetic acids for long periods of time, may have an increased risk for cancer. We're going to try and discuss this. I'm going to put this on our agenda for the next committee meeting, but we really need to discuss it. My suggestion is to please filter your water. Don't know how this is going to affect us. If it's going to affect us in 20 or 30 years, if you're immunocompromised, it might have an earlier effect on you. So just bear that in mind. The other thing, lastly, is tomorrow, 5G is supposed to be scheduled by two of the major carriers. The rollout of 5G is going to be turned on in our area, but the airline companies are pleading to stall it because of the potential to ground aircrafts, because it will interfere with the mechanics and the while of being able to air the airplanes. So I'll try to have an update on the next at the next meeting of all of this stuff. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Antonella. Health and Human Services, Judy Chulovas.
No report.
Thank you. Housing, Evie Hanzopoulos.
Hey everyone, good evening. The Housing Committee met on January 10th and it featured a guest speaker, Sam Stein, who contributed to the book Zoned Out and also wrote the book Capital City, Gentrification and the Real Estate State. It was a wonderful presentation. He had spoken to our committee a few years ago when I first became housing chair and came back to share his report. He works for the Community Service Society now on the de Blasio housing legacy. So I believe Florence did send out those links to the community board. I encourage everyone to read that report, and also any members of the public. If you go to Community Service Society, you can read about that and the recommendations and the data that was presented in that report, including how the affordable housing that is being built in New York City is basically unaffordable to the communities who live there. And I think that that's a real important thing for us to continue to push for, that we ensure that we are not just, approving any kind of mandatory inclusionary housing, but we're pushing for the most affordability and more units. I would like to share in the chat a tool that Community Service Society has put together. It is a dashboard and it gives you an overview of New York rental housing, everything from demographic data to the average median income to the rent, the percentage of the population that's rent burden. So you can actually go and click on by city council district, by community district, and actually get information on here in Astoria as well as New York City. So Florence, I don't know if you've linked that to the Community Board One website yet, but I think it would be good to put on there. That way people can go and look at some like real concrete data on rental housing and just what the situation is here, not just in New York City, but specifically in Community Board One. I think that was kind of the basic gist of the meeting. I do encourage people to go and watch Sam's presentation, which is on the Community Board One Queens YouTube channel. There is one, if people don't know, and you can see all the different things that he covered in his presentation. I think it's important for us, not just for people on the housing committee, but for everyone on the board to really learn as much as they can about this issue, because it is, I think one of the biggest pressing issues here in Western Queens. So that's pretty much it. I think our next meeting is in March, but thank you. I'll also drop Sam's report in the chat as well if people want to have a chance to look at that.
Thank you, Evie. Land use and zoning, Elizabeth or Jerry Caliendo. Elizabeth, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Here as well.
And Jerry,
And
you're here
Jerry's
too?
there. Oh,
Okay.
Jerry went off camera though. Okay.
Okay. Jerry, you want?
There he is. Okay.
I mean,
I think that the application and proposal of a building at this location in the form that is being presented is in context with that portion of the area of the community. And I didn't see any opposition, so my recommendation is to vote for it.
I can,
so may I have a motion on the floor to, a motion
to
from the
accept,
floor?
motion to accept the matter as is, as per Jerry's statement.
So you want to say you approve the application as
Yes.
submitted?
Yes.
I'll second.
And who is that, please?
Jean
Jean
Marie.
Marie.
Hey, Amy, would you be kind enough to do the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Helena Abiola. Yes, no vote, please. I'll come back, Helene, or shout when you're back online. George Alexiou? George? Danielle Alberti?
Yes.
Thank you. Louise Bordley's not here. Shoma, is Shoma online? No, she's not
No.
here tonight.
Yes, I'm
Bruno?
here.
Oh, you are fantastic. Hi. This is on 3501 Vernon Boulevard rezoning. A yes or
Yes.
no vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bruno?
Is Ann still with us?
I'll come back. Jerry Caliendo?
Yes.
Arak Shahansky?
I can vote for cost.
Okay, thank you. Jean Marie DeLeva?
Yes.
Antonella?
No.
Mario? Katie Elman, not here. Elizabeth Arion?
Yes.
Mackenzie Farquhar?
Yes.
Dean Verachovich?
Yes.
Shahana Santi?
I cannot vote for cause.
Okay, thank you. Evie Hansopoulos?
No.
Amy Hauser, yes. Helen Ho?
Yes.
Vanessa Jones Hall, not here. Richard Kuzami?
I'm sorry, I lost track. You were up to yourself, Amy. Did you vote?
I voted yes. Helen Ho
Yes.
is a yes.
And then, okay, thank you.
Vanessa's not here. Richard Kuzami? Richard?
He's been having tech issues. Let me let you know if he's here.
Okay. I'll skip ahead and then they'll come back.
HUC, and then I can't stay in touch with you. He's here. Richard, can you please take a vote? Richard?
Please unmute.
Richard? He's unmuted. He is not muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, starts, yes.
Thank you. Nancy
My vote is
Conable?
yes.
Yes.
Amar Cart's not here, right? Jerry Krill's not here. Christina Lastros?
No.
Diana Lamoji?
No.
Chelsea Lopez?
No.
Hannah Lupian?
Yes.
Jeffrey Martin?
Yes.
Amin Mehedi's not here, right? Antonio's not here.
Correct.
Doreen Mohammed?
No.
Thank you. Eric Mouche?
Yes.
Thank you. Stella? Nicola?
No.
Mary O'Hara's not here. Dino Panagoulia, sorry.
Yes.
Dino, thanks. Juliet Payava? I think she's still here.
I'll let you know in a moment.
Okay.
I
Rosemary.
don't see her.
Okay, Rosemary's not here. Yane's not here. Brian Romero?
No.
Thomas Ryan?
Yes.
Dominic Stiller, is he with
No.
us? Andrew Stiff?
Yes.
Thank you. Rod Townsend?
Yes.
Thank you. Judy Trulivas?
Yes.
Kathleen Warnock?
No.
Mitch Waxman, sorry.
No.
Rosemary Yelton?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Marie Torniali?
Yes.
All right, so go see. Come on.
Please
Hi,
mute. Please mute. You are unmuted.
She said get dinner. She didn't say nothing about spending all her
is
money.
Helene
Andre,
Abiola?
Andre, hello,
Huh?
please mute.
Hi, is Helene Abiola with us? Helene?
She's here. She didn't unmute.
Sorry.
Yes.
It's a
Hello.
yes vote?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ann Bruno's back.
Yes,
Helene?
my vote is yes.
Oh, hi, Anne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. But
You're
was Helene also on the call with a yes vote?
Yes, that's correct. She
Yeah.
voted first and then Ann voted second.
Thank you. George Alexiou? Just want to come back to people who we skipped ahead.
I'll let you know if he's bumped off. I don't see him in.
Okay. I think I have everybody, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Madam Chair, there's 23 yeses, 10 nos, and 2 abstention.
23, 10, 2 app.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation. Unless you had, I'm sorry, Elizabeth and Jerry, I cut you off. Did you have something to add to your report?
No, I don't have anything further to report.
Okay, thank you. Parks and Recreation. Kathleen Warnock, because I don't think Katie
Yeah,
Ellen is here.
Katie is having some pretty serious restoration work done to her home, but yet she let us know, and we did not have a meeting this month. We're having one on February 14th. And I will also say, for those of us who are fans of Astoria Performing Arts Center, even though they're over at the Secret Theater now, their new production of a classic musical, Man of La Mancha, opens on February 10th, because I know we have a lot of APAC fans around here.
Thank you. Transportation, Mitch Waxman.
We didn't have a meeting in December, but a number of members of the committee and Marie attended a joint presentation by New York City DOT and the MTA, which was discussing a plan they're creating that would fundamentally reshape the way traffic works on 21st Street between Astoria Boulevard and Queens Plaza. Apparently, they're going to be presenting to us sometime this year. We haven't got a hard date, but I'm sure this is something that the other members of the board are going to want to consult on. Beyond that, I would just like to mention the name Michelle Go, who's the woman who was murdered on a subway platform in Manhattan. And it's something that I just breaks my heart. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I'm sorry, give me a minute. I'm having technical difficulties. I'd like to introduce our council member Juan, who's been patiently waiting on the call Council member, are you still with us?
Hi, Marie. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you if I haven't already met you yet. My name is Julie One. I am the council member for District 26, who is taking over for Council Member Jimmy Van Bramer, my predecessor. Unfortunately, I do have an 8 p.m. I was told to join for 7:30 to 8 to introduce myself, so I'm sorry I got to jump, but I just wanted to give a quick highlight. First and foremost, if you have not done so already, please order your federal COVID take-home at-home test. It will be delivered to you. You can do a Google search, and my team has already blasted it on our social media. And if you need any assistance with a phone number or getting to that website to register for that test, my community liaison and policy analyst Isaac Blasenstein, he is also on and he's going to stay on. So feel free to message him on the chat. And in addition to that, the eviction moratorium has ended this weekend, unfortunately. So if you are struggling with a threat of an eviction and you need help, please feel free to reach out to our office or Tiffany Caban's office, depending on what part of the district that you live in. But first and foremost, remember that it is illegal to have you locked out. Do not self-evict. Apply for ERAP, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, as well as continuing to make sure that you understand your rights and the right to counsel, which is available to you by calling 311 for the tenants helpline. So if you have any other further questions, if you or your neighbors are afraid or being intimidated, please do not be afraid at this moment. Don't panic. Contact us and we're here to help. So I look forward to working with all of you and building a better community. If you have any questions or thoughts, Isaac has already dropped our contact information into the chat, but he'll drop it in again because I know that there's been a lot going on in the chat. It's a very active, engaged group. I look forward to continue to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much and have a good night.
Thank you, and thank you for dropping by, and again, apologies. Thank you. Any other elected officials or their reps? Joe Nocerino?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Madam Chair. Florence, hello, everyone from the Borough President, and Happy New Year. Congratulations to the new Executive Board and to those who ran. We look forward to a great 2022 partnering with you folks. Couple of quick items besides Happy New Year. Community board applications. I know Chair Marie mentioned it. I cannot, I would be remiss to not also mention, please go online. Deadline is February 16th. It's a pretty easy application to fill out. If you are unsure of your status, email me, have Florence email me. The easiest way to remember is obviously the first year that you joined. If you're even or odd, then you know whatever year you're in, and this would be an even year. Virtual small business town hall. Virtual, the borough president is hosting Wednesday, January 19th at 5:30. You need to RSVP on our website. And lastly, on January 25th at 5:30, we have a webinar with Queens Defenders and the law firm Harris Bricken to learn more about the Marijuana Regulations and Taxation Act, which legalizes adult use cannabis in New York State. The seminar will also discuss the impungement of marijuana-related criminal records. And I thank you and I yield.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials or their representatives?
Yeah, you have three. Hold on, let me.
I'm sorry?
Congresswoman Cortez is now joining.
Daniel?
Daniel.
Yeah,
Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, sorry, can everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Bontheus. I'm the Deputy District Director of Operations for Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Happy New Year, welcome back, and congratulations to the new board. First of all, due to the recent COVID surge, we've shifted our office back to full remote work. As always, we can be contacted at 718-662-5970 or on our website at ocasio-cortez.house.gov. On January 27th, the Congresswoman will be hosting our first town hall of the new year. She'll be joined by the New York City Health Commissioner, Dr. Dave Choksi, to discuss the current state of the Omicron surge and take questions from the audience. Please register for the event at a link I'll share in the chat in a moment. You can also watch recordings of the Congresswoman's previous town halls on our YouTube page, on our Rep AOC YouTube page, and hear about upcoming public events by signing up for our newsletter. As Councilmember Juan mentioned, I apologize for the buzzer. They actually started a day early. You can request the take-home tests online. The website is covidtests.gov. You can get four tests sent to each address. So go to that website and order your tests now. The website was pretty quick for me, so hopefully that will be the case for other folks as well. Tests will usually ship within 7 to 12 days of ordering. A short legislative update. Last week, the House passed the Freedom to Vote John Lewis Act, legislation that would strengthen parts of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 as voter laws become more restrictive in many states throughout the country. This week, the House expects to vote on the eVest Act, which would automatically enroll veterans into the VA healthcare system, and stands prepared to act, and the Congresswoman stands prepared to act on the Build Back Better Act should it come to pass the Senate. Finally, tax season is approaching. The IRS is encouraging everyone to file early. Eligible New Yorkers can use NYC free tax prep services, including in-person tax prep, drop-off service, virtual tax prep, and assisted self-prep to file taxes for free. I'll share the link nyc.gov/tax prep, where you can find all those resources. Additionally, and this is important for anyone getting the Earned Income Tax Credit, the IRS is encouraging you to hold on to your Earned Income Tax Credit letters, which started going out in December. This letter will be important for your tax filing. So those letters should be coming now, or you may already have received it. Hold on to it and include it as part of your tax filing. Happy to ask any questions, and I'll share all the mentioned links in the chat.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
may I ask Dan a question about the test kits?
Somebody, I believe they're all free to mail. I think Richard just asked that question. Is that correct, Daniel? The test kits are mailed free by USPS?
Yeah, they're free. Yep.
I'm understanding that two-family homes are having an issue getting each family and individual 4 test kits. Does your office handle that situation?
Yeah, feel free to reach out to us. The website just opened today, so there may be some glitches. We haven't heard about it yet, but tell people to reach out to us if there are constituents, or Ernie's on the call for Representative Maloney's office as well. But we can look into it if people are having issues.
I'll follow up to you, Ernie. Thank you very much.
To add to that, I do have some news. There's the office has been looking in reports that messages for folks in multi-dwelling buildings, such as apartments, that have been having problems, I think, with the addresses in the buildings. And there's a link to go to, and I tried to put it in the chat. I've been having problems. I just now got upgraded to being on the panel, so it's working better. But that's tools.usps.com/zip -code-lookup.htm. And as I said, that is in the chat, and that's where you're supposed to be able to sort things out with the post office if you're having problem getting the test kits sent to the correct address. And another thing is that individuals with, I believe, pretty much any kind of health insurance, whether it's Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance, or through an employer, can get free test kits from, now I don't know if it's going to be from all the local small pharmacies, but you can definitely get it from CVS and Duane Reade, places like that. And you shouldn't be charged for it. And the federal government's put an incentive in place that they get charged, the pharmacy gets charged a lot more for all the test kits they buy, unless they do give it and make sure it's reimbursed on the spot by insurance. So that's a good thing. If you're having a problem getting through the mail, you can go to post offices. And I think I put some more news because I didn't know if I was going to get on, but One piece of news was the Congresswoman sent a letter to Biden asking him to extend student loan relief, which he did. That was several weeks ago. Ms. Maloney kicked off the new year by leading a discussion on environmental justice and the issue of the CHP plants. These are these new power plants, which are going to be much more efficient, and because they use the excess heat for cooling, I guess it's kind of like a heat pump that works in a much more efficient way than just something that's generating power. And this is proposed for Stuyvesant Town. Also, Chairmanwoman Maloney, Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Gail Clark on Government Accountability Office worked to evaluate the impacts of the peaker power plant pollution, which has been a big problem in Queens, and they have it underway to shut a lot of those down. And they're, of course, as everybody knows, working on hopefully getting rid of Big Alice, which has been one of the main contributors over the years to pollution, which has been a real problem, especially in Ravenswood and areas near it. It affects me and where I live, just south of the bridge. Yeah, that's basically, I don't want to add to the time. I know it's been a long meeting and going on, but I just want to wish Happy New Year. Let's hope this year, it's not starting out so well. Let's hope it turns better than last year. And congratulations on all those who are returning to Community Board 1 in Queens and new members, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kartika from Assemblyman Mamdani's office. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, thank you. The assembly member was on earlier, but he had to jump off for commitment at 8, so I'm going to be giving the updates today. First, the New York State Homeowners Assistance Fund is open for applications for homeowners who are behind on payments of their mortgage and are at risk for a default, foreclosure, and displacement. They can qualify for up to $50K in aid, and you can apply at newyorkhomeownerfund.org. I put the link in the chat. The eviction moratorium expired this past weekend. Again, to request legal services, tenants can call 311 and ask for right to counsel services. Finally, there are many places I want to say to everyone to fill out the USPS.com/test kits to get their free at-home COVID test kits. That's 4 per household. But there are also other places to get tested within Astoria, including Mount Sinai, Van Alst Playground, Hart Playground, and easy accessible is Queensboro Plaza and LaGuardia Airport. More information about those test sites can be found online, but every week we post the updated test sites to our social media, and we send out an email, so you can check it out there. If you want to reach out to our office, last year we closed over 300 cases helping people from everything from broken streetlights to missing unemployment benefits. Please contact our office. The number is 718-545-3889, and our email is 8036@nyassembly.gov. And our office was virtual for the duration of this COVID surge, but we hope to be having constituents in the office very soon. That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much. Oriana from Councilmember Kamban's office.
Hi, everyone. My name is Oriana. I'm the Director of Constituent Services for Councilmember Tiffany Caban. Have good evening and happy belated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm excited that I'm attending my first community board meeting as part of the council members' new team. It's really an honor to be here. Just to give you some updates, the council member was just sworn in about a month ago on December 1st. After she was sworn in, she signed on to about 20 pieces of legislation to improve the lives of New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. The council member has also been on the ground in the district. Last week, she was able to make her first school visit to PS 171. Able to bring some COVID home testing as well as 500 K95 masks At the school, she listened to the teachers and the principal describe a lot of the difficulties that they have been facing while reopening during this Omicron surge. Our team has been hard at work calling every New York City agency and office, pushing for more testing locations in the district, and attempting to secure more for our public schools, and will be continuing to do so. Today, she was excited to attend the reopening of the Steinway Library, which has been was under renovations and received some upgrades to the building. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is looking quite beautiful. I definitely recommend it. I'm also excited to announce the return of participatory budgeting. Our office has allocated $1 million that can be used for physical infrastructure projects that benefit the public, cost at least $50,000, and have a lifespan of 5 years. We are also allocating $50,000 in the discretionary expense for funding participatory budgeting projects. Things can be like community classes, gardens, equipment to maintain parks. I'm sure you're very familiar, but we are taking ideas. I'm going to just drop the link. And if you have any questions or thoughts, our organizing manager has been doing a lot of work in terms of, let me put that for everyone. Has been doing a lot of work in terms of organizing the community to be more aware of participatory budgeting and helping them submit any ideas that they may have. And then lastly, our district office is still under construction. So we have not had a chance to open, but we are fully taking patients. So if you need assistance, please call our office number and our email, which I put in the chat earlier, or reach out to me. I'll be as many of the other offices noted, the eviction moratorium has unfortunately ended. So if you or anyone you know is experiencing or is worried about eviction, please reach out to their office and we'll be doing everything we can to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Oriana. Kathleen Warnock.
Oh, thank you. I did want to ask Oriana a question. One of the things that we took a vote on before our break was to vote down the change in zoning that would allow the new buildings going up where the Neptune Diner and Staples is now. And we had considerable testimony from the community that also was very much against it. And Tiffany, when she came in, voted for that particular change in zoning. And she didn't have, it wasn't Costa if he had made some kind of deal. And I'm wondering why she went against the community's preferences in the change of zoning.
Yeah, thank you for raising that point. I know that there was a lot of discussion on both sides. I will say that I'm going to put in our chat the name of our director of legislative and budget, just because they are the ones much more familiar with this, the voting and what went into it. So I'm just going to put that contact in there. And I'm happy to follow up in the next meeting with a report from them as well.
Thank you. It was a disappointment at this end, but it would be nice to hear Tiffany tell us about it. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually want.
Doreen Mohammed, do you have a question? Doreen? Doreen?
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, hi, so this is Doreen. I'm on the housing committee along with Evie and a bunch of other folks. And, not only did was a community opposed to it for a variety of reasons, Tiffany herself specifically specified that she was against this rezoning because it wasn't really deeply affordable housing, it wasn't sufficient, etc. And then suddenly she voted in favor of it. So I would like for you to, since you're her point staff person, to have her come to our next meeting to explain why she, suddenly switched about that and kind of break it down for us, because our story is becoming increasingly unaffordable, inaccessible to working class New Yorkers that she claims to stand for, particularly people of color, but not limited to.
Thank you, Doreen. I don't know if Oriana is still with us.
Yeah, I am still with you all. I will definitely let I will attempt to get her to our next meeting. If anything, I will also just get some of the reasoning behind her vote so that I can give a proper report out. But I will make note to see if we can bring her in to discuss the vote.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you. Thank you, Doreen. Shahan Nazaz, do you have a question or comment?
No, it's not question. Thank you. I also support Doreen and Catherine in the same, please, if we can get this also. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other elected officials or their representatives wish to speak? Members of the public.
Sorry.
Diana, did you raise your hand? Go ahead,
Yes, I
Diana.
did. I don't know if Ariana's still here. I hope that your office is really, for these last days when participatory budgeting ideas, like, the deadline is 1/23. I hope that your office will, kind of push out so that people can submit their ideas, because I know that there was an initial deadline of 12/31 and not many ideas had been submitted because there had just been no outreach. And I had to go through on, the Twitter account, like a lot in order to find information about participatory budgeting. So I think it's a great thing, but it's not a great thing if like many community members don't know that it's happening, right? I hope that you will make an effort to spread the word from now until the deadline.
Absolutely. We actually have, our team hired someone specifically. They're our organizing manager. Their name is Nomi Tickleman. And since that they started in the office, their whole job has been to push out the word about participatory budgeting. They are organizing a youth council to get folks to submit ideas as well. We've done a huge blast to all the public schools and just have been doing a lot of work on the ground to make sure folks hear about it. But I hear you, it is an extremely important process, and we do want to keep pushing out the word and making sure folks are involved.
Thank you. Any members of the public wish to speak?
Marie, can I make a statement, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to remind everyone they have 2 minutes. Clock starts when they start speaking, and it's only 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, again, any members of the public wish to speak, please. Amy, are you speaking as a member of the public?
Yeah, just a short announcement.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year, which is coming up. And I'm thrilled to share, I learned today that the much beloved Socrates Sculpture Park and Noguchi Museum will be teaming up to do a series of Lunar New Year celebration workshops on Saturday, the 29th. I thought that would be really fun to share with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Kate Peterson.
Kate Peterson is permitted to talk. Go ahead, Kate.
Hey all, Happy New Year. I did drop this in the chat, but I just want to say it out loud for the record. I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to be at the public hearing at the beginning of this meeting, and that's because the link in the Zoom on the website was not working. And I did receive a functioning link. Thank you so much, Florence, for sending that. But I don't feel like because that link didn't come until 7:10, so I wasn't able to, be a part of that. And I totally appreciate all the work that everybody does, and I know you want to get done with things because there's so much on the agenda. But I just feel like in that kind of situation, there should be a pause and say, hey, do we have members of the public on this call right now? If not, maybe that agenda item should not be covered because it's supposed to be for the public. My comment tonight was actually supposed to be about a website that we created for Astoria to help improve information about COVID testing. It's called testweight.com. I'm sure I'm out of time, so I won't be covering that, but it was created by volunteers so that Astorians can find testing locations near them and also report how long they're waiting. That's all. Have a great evening.
Did you put that link in the chat, Kate?
I'll drop it now.
Thank you. Anyone else? Shahan Nazaz, do you wish to speak again? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead,
Tomorrow from 9 to 3 in front of Ravenswood Community Center will be the RV for the test and for the vaccine. If anyone wants it, it will be there open for the public. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have another member of the public, Key DeVay.
Yes, Nakia George.
Go ahead, please.
Hi, I wanted to speak earlier in regards to the 3501 Vernon Boulevard project. I wasn't able to, but now that the doors are open, I wanted to say my statement. I wanted to know if that was okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening, Community Board 1. My name is Nakia George, and I'm a community advocate for Woodside Houses in Queens. I'm here today to express my full support for the 3501 Vernon Boulevard project, as I believe it will be a great benefit for our community by providing new jobs and more affordable housing options. In Western Queens, affordable housing and access to quality living while making a modest wage and score is over 30,000 residents in Queens live in public housing developments and continually seek out new housing options. NYCHA living conditions can be less than ideal for many. New development projects are a glimpse of a hope. In addition, the project will bring many new jobs to our community, both during construction and after. On behalf of myself and countless other Woodside residents, I hope you strongly consider the project for approval. Thank you for your time.
And thank you for dropping by and waiting to say this. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Oni, you have your hand up again?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something, which is, I don't know if people know Culture Lab, which is a large art and performance space that's it's basically donated by the Plaxall family. And today, Edjo Wheeler, who runs the space, reached out to me about, for Black History Month, they're mounting a large exhibition there, and they want to reach out to the African American community to submit works of art or performance or music, anything like that. And it's just, I think it's the website. I don't have it in front of me right now, but it's called, I'll try to find it and put it in the chat on the end of a message I was writing. It's culturelab.lic.org, I believe. And as I said, submissions of any kind would have to be in by January 28th. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of time. And then the show's running from February 10th, I believe, till the end of the month. But it's a great space, a huge space, and could be a great show. And it's, as I said, it's not far. I know it's not in Community Board 1, but it's in Community Board 2, but it's close to Queensbridge, not too far from Ravenswood. And anyway, should be a great event. Thanks. That's all.
Thank you, Ernie.
Oh yeah, and definitely go to that thing. It's good to announce that because we definitely need as many testing sites as we can get.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? No one? All right, seeing none, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Tom Ryan.
Second?
Second.
Who was that second?
I'll second Antonella.
Dino Panagoulias.
That was,
Oh,
right?
Thank you so much. Have a good month. See you next month. Stay
Good night,
safe.
everybody.
Good night. Good night,
Take
Joe.
care, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Have a good
night.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Adjourn, Tom Ryan.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Second.
Hi, everyone.
Night.
Have a good month. See you next month. Stay
Good night,
safe.
everybody.
Good night. Good night,
Take
Joe.
care, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Adjourn, Tom Ryan.
Good night, everyone.
Second.
Hi, everyone.